All right, what is up, fam? Good evening. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. What kind of songs could we sing? Let's see. I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm just honestly, guys, like this market, wow. Wow. How's everyone doing? White, good afternoon. Glasshopper, how you doing? Mickey, Tim McDonald in the house, winning wave. Okay, guys, so very simple. Bitcoin is ranging. Have a great night. We're done. No, I'm kidding. We're not done. We're going to look at some altcoins tonight, okay? Some of the trending ones. I'm just messing with you guys. Ultimately, that is how I feel about Bitcoin. Who made money on the long? If you guys made money off the Bitcoin long this morning, let me know. And we'll wait for some people to come up here. Lights, camera, action. Rodney, what is up? Just Joshinia, how you doing? I feel this market is just joshing us. Honestly, like, wow. Pretty crazy stuff, guys. Made some profit off that long winning wave. Good job. Good stuff. We made some money. We went against the trend, right? Okay. So some people are joining, guys. I tried to get this live started right for 1 because I really can't be staying up till 4 a.m. every night. It's been kind of taking a toll on me. However, we're not missing much. We've got a range. And we're playing the range. I'm just going to give you guys a pretty good Bitcoin price update here. So here you can see right here, Bitcoin has a high. Here you can see Bitcoin has a low. We hit the low, so we're most likely going to hit the high because now we're playing this macro bearish pennant. And we tried to drop inside of this bearish pennant, and unfortunately, we didn't drop. Actually, no, fortunately, we didn't drop because we were in a long, right? That would have not been good if we dropped. But now I'm okay with us potentially dropping. So let's see right here. Our 4-hour MACD is still pushing down. Now I am not entering a long, even though we're oversold. I want this 4-hour MACD to cross. We've got a little bit of a downtrend right here on our 1-hour time frame. Okay. Little bit of a downtrend right here, guys. And you can see Bitcoin is ranging above that conversion line. All right. Now, would I be longing? I don't know. If you want to long the middle, go ahead. But this is a no trade zone for me. Anytime Bitcoin is in this area, massive no trade zone. This means go make a cup of coffee, read a book, write down your life goals, take your wife or husband out for dinner, profit off the money that you made, and wait till it hits the top or bottom. And I've been preaching this so many times, guys. We'll be showing you this in the training. By the way, who is joining the training this weekend? February 21st, guys. All right, February 21st, 10 a.m. Make sure you RSVP. Okay? So Bitcoin is flat. Everything is flat. The whole total market is flat. I don't know how I see Bitcoin playing out. I don't think we're going to hit the top. at this rate. We're very overbought on the daily. Here's your daily. It is overbought. 18 hours dropping here too. So the 18 hours coming down. This is already telling me that I shouldn't be looking for a long. I should be looking for a short. But the problem is with the short is that we are completely oversold on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, completely oversold. So you don't want to short this area right here because we could get some volume into London. Longing is very risky though, because before the 18-hour close, you're going to get some downtrend momentum. All right, guys, so hit that like button, fam. Let's run up the live. Let's take a look at a couple of altcoins, large caps, low caps. We are here for the London session, all right? BTC boring JPY update. Sure. USD JPY. Faked out. Wow. You know, I cannot believe this market. This market is absolutely crazy. Currencies are faking out. Where's my... Yeah, JPY faked out. Yeah, a little bit of a breakout here. You pumped, you faked. This is absolutely wild. This whole market is just... Now, USD JPY is looking good, though. You can see the 4 hours moving up. So even though it did fake out, which could destroy you if you're looking at pips, USD JPY should pump to around 156. Okay? 156 on USD JPY, and then we should push up to that area right there. Okay. But essentially, you are looking at this 15-minute channel breaking and hitting that top. I'm only going over this quickly. Right, well, it's just as really ranging, right? But the 4 hour is oversold. Okay, I want to look at Kite, which has been one of the recommended trades from one of my friends today. Asked me to look at it on the live. So we're going to look at Kite. Kite is wild. Kite is flying like a kite, no pun intended. The profit is on Kite. Okay, so if we go from this channel to right here, guys, pretty simple. At this point, Kite could hit 35 cents. I didn't realize that Kite had a wick right here. I think we looked at this before, but I didn't realize that. Now it looks like Kite is going to pump all the way up to, yeah, look at the 18-hour on Kite. Normally I've said low caps are not looking good, but right now I'm saying Kite is looking pretty darn good. We have a double top. Yeah, Kite is looking primo for sure. Pirate Genetics in the house. How we doing, fam? Okay, we didn't break out on Kite. So that is the 4 hour right here, which you got to keep in mind. So that is from here to here. But in the shorter term, I would say Kite pumps up to about 28 or 29. Now, personally, for me, guys, I am... Personally, for me, guys, I am going to give me a minute. I would say that your high resistance on Kite is about 28.8 to about 29. Yeah, Kite is looking pretty good, Tim. All right. So I don't know if I'd hold it to the top, though, but it should pump to about that, even possibly 30 cents, right? Okay, guys, let's go over our particulars, which are the large caps. XRP. We broke trend on XRP right here. Bitcoin is kind of dropping before London. One hour is overbought. 4 hours almost overbought on XRP, which means that XRP could come down to XRP is probably going to have a drop. And if that is going to have a drop, then Bitcoin is probably going to have a drop. I'm going to call this coffee shop trading live sessions moving forward. Yeah, so XRP should come back down to about 145 or lower. Like, that's a quick scalp trade. Not much happening there. Honestly, I'm really only trading XRP if we break this 133. Too much of a range right here. All right, winning wave. Thoughts on Cyber? For sure, for sure. Cyber, let's see what Cyber is doing. Okay, so Cyber's got a nice double bottom here. It broke out here. So I'm giving you shorter term targets because I don't trust this market for longer term right now. And right now, longer term targets, like trying to figure out if there's going to be spring or summer on Groundhog Day. It just isn't correct. So I would say Cyber's pushing up to about 85 in the shorter term. Shorter term. Okay, so shorter term right there. Shorter term is going to have to be 4 hour. Yeah, so we're pushing up to about 78 to about 87 region, which there are more buys than sell. Actually, there are more sells than buys up here. So keep that in mind. You've got your bull market support band right here, about 86. You're completely overbought. But you are oversold in the 15-minute. So I would say there's a potential Cyber pushes up here. 18 hours moving up for another how many minutes here? You know, you could even say this is kind of an altcoin season, guys. It isn't, but so many of these low caps are pumping. Yeah, Cyber's not looking too bad. It has a nice fair value gap there too. See, shorting Bitcoin is really tough right now. Longing Bitcoin is also very, very tough. I know Orca was doing something. Oh, look at Orca, guys. Massive short coming up here. Orca is lining up for a generational money short. Boom, right there. Trend broke. Oh, this is going to be a good one. So Orca has a real nice double top. You broke the trend right here, and you're kind of going sideways. If you guys could find a short on Orca, it's tough for me to say when to get in. But Orca is absolutely going to be a money printer. 1,000%. So where you would get into Orca, guys, is at the break of this 109 target. Here's the break, the 109, 108.7. And once Orca starts breaking this area right here, starts dumping, it'll come down to 95 and even ultimately 80 cents. This is going to be a very, very good short. You've also got your MACD crossing down. If you get that 4-hour MACD cross, you're golden. And you're rejecting that 800 SMA, and you are rejecting the bull market support band. Magma. What are we catching, Pokemon or what? I've heard Magma before. All right, Magma. A little bit of a couple low caps here, right? So inverse head and shoulder on Magma. It's not pretty, but it is an inverse head and shoulder nonetheless. So I'm just going to draw a channel on Magma. Keep it very, very simple. You're looking at about 15.5, and that's really all I got for you. I wouldn't even, there's blank space here. You might want to look at a take profit if it starts pumping. But we hit the top of the channel. We hit the bottom of the channel, a massive rounded bottom. It looks like Magma could have a pretty big pump here. I want to go look at Bitcoin, though. I really don't want to trade right now because we're overbought in the 1-hour time frame. But I really would love to see Bitcoin pump to this high, about 68.9. This 15-minute is almost oversold. All right, guys, hit that like button. Let's run up the YouTube live. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, Magma is looking good, Rodney. Magma is looking very, very good, possibly for long or even spot trade. It has been holding that rounded bottom for quite some time. So, all right, guys, I like to show off my thumbnails. Everybody knows, I'm pretty sure. This one was a fun one. I had to think of it. But that is a pretty cool thumbnail. The reason it's a cool thumbnail is we're kind of playing ring around the rosy, up and down, resistance, support, cash flow, money, cash flow with the London session. I thought this was pretty cool because that's essentially what I've been doing, is just hitting the top resistance, shorting, cashing out over and over again. All right, guys, let's go over our large caps here. Because our large caps is what is going to make money. But before we do that, we are going to go over WLFI, World Liberty Finance. It almost feels like a weekend right now with how the market's moving. It's very, very weird. Okay, so World Liberty Financial's pumping. This is very weird to me how the market is moving. Huge rounded bottom. You had that bearish pennant, right? But that bearish pennant broke out. You're running up here. 18-hour on WLFI's looking fairly good. I think he even broke out right here on your 18-hour time frame. Boom. Daily hit the bottom already. So WLFI is going for a little bit of a pump here. Yeah, you're looking at about 13.8 guys on WLFI. This should pump to about 13.8 to about 14. Olga, there's a WLFI conference in Mar-a-Lago. Of course there is. Not surprised. Let's see where the market's moving here. Oh, one more thing I will say, though, guys, is we did break out. So or at least I think we did. We broke out right here. So we did break out of the 1 hour resistance. And I'm going to say Bitcoin's probably going to pump based on what I'm seeing, but we'll see. I might open up a long right here. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to open up a long. Why not? We'll see. Not crazy leverage, but I'm going to open up a long and see if London pumps this thing. At this point, I'm just wanting to trade, which isn't what you should be doing. But I'm going to kind of give you guys my thesis on why I'm opening up a long. The 4 hour is very, very oversold. We're oversold in the 5 minute here. The 1 hour broke out. We kind of have good support. And we broke the conversion line. So I'm going to kind of redraw my channels for you guys. And the MACD is crossed over too, which is good. But if you guys look right here on Bitcoin, my conversion line is right here. So this is now my new support. Now, remember I tell you guys all the time not to trade in the middle. Don't trade in the middle. Don't trade in the middle. Well, we're technically not trading in the middle, okay? Because when you are bouncing off your conversion line, that acts as major support. So where I would get out of my long is if it breaks this fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, and again, I'm just kind of going off of what I see on the conversion line, but there's a market session coming up. It is London. I know there's not going to be too much manipulation like New York. So I know we're probably not going to drop all the way back down and pump all the way back up. But what I can see here is we hit a low right here off of this channel, 3 points technically. And that means we're typically going to hit a high. Okay. If you look right here, guys, we had pretty good resistance into New York. It was right here. And we actually broke that resistance. So we pumped all the way to the top. And you can see that Bitcoin rejected, came back down, faked out. Then we pumped, then we back tested, and we pumped again, and we broke out. So that is my thesis of opening up a long. Will it play out? I'm not sure. But with this 4 hour very, very oversold and moving up, I would expect that this plays out. And again, we broke out on the 1 hour, right? So I could see right here we 100% broke out of that 1 hour time frame. So I am long. It seems like I made a good decision. And possibly we push up all the way to the top here, which would definitely be very, very nice because I don't want to have to trade the New York session tomorrow. I want to make my money for the day and kind of get out and not worry about New York tomorrow. So that's kind of my thesis, guys, on the long, right? Why I opened up a long in it. And again, I'm going against the trend. I shouldn't be, but I'm not going to wait, I'm not going to wait for the perfect cinnamon bun, the soft cinnamon bun with the cream cheese spread melting in your mouth. You know what? I just want a bit of that flavor right now. It doesn't got to be perfect. But you should not trade like this. I'm not necessarily making a bad trade. I'm explaining to you guys the conversion line and we break out. So there's a couple confirmations looking pretty decent, plus the 4 hours oversold. All right, but I wouldn't go crazy high leverage. Hit that like button, guys. Let's run up the live. All right here. So we've got our large caps now. We're going to go back to XRP for a moment. I'm just going to go to spot at this point. So kind of seeing here, XRP is actually in a cup and handle. See if it bounced off our 618. It did. So XRP bounced off our 618 right there. We've got a cup. We've got a handle, maybe a pump. Now, low cap or large caps besides Bitcoin, I'm kind of iffy about, but we can see we have this major support right here. We have some resistance right here. This market is weird. This is like, yeah, so XRP already broke out. So there's possibly going to be a pump on XRP, possibly. There is also a double bottom here on XRP we looked at before. Bro, I love cinnamon buns. You sounded like you were selling them for a moment. Tim, I would definitely love some cinnamon buns for sure. All right, is anybody jumping in this long with me, guys, or longing the market with me? So we're breaking this resistance here into London, which is nice. White APG. Good stuff, guys. Sometimes you got to look at the range here. All right, I'm scraping at River. Holy, I was waiting for the short on River. This is looking like a dino, and I mean a dynamite short on River. I can see River coming all the way down to $4 or a lot lower. I've been waiting for the short on River, but I forgot about it. You could see River's probably going to hit this blank space kind of support level around $4. That is really, really good profit. Look, it broke the pennant. Ranged sideways for a bit and started dumping. Wow. That would have been a beautiful short if I caught it. If I caught it. But if you caught it, great job. Great job. Thoughts on Flare, FLR? Sure. See, guys, I like trading in the Tokyo and London session better while I'm live. It's really hard for me to trade into New York and be live at the same time. So if I don't have to trade tomorrow morning, I'm happy. And basically, if I make more than $1,000 on each funded account, I don't have to trade more than once. That is my goal. I think I made this very clear. Try to get your $1,000 every day and be done. All right, thoughts on Flare, APG 37. We've got some resistance right here. We have got the 18-hour pushing down, but the 4 hours coming up. We did break out. I would say we see Flare pumping up to 0.1 if this actually breaks resistance, that is. And so we've got some bullish dive here too. So essentially what Flare needs to do is break this inverse pattern right here. Pretty heavy resistance. If we go to our liquidity gaps right here, FLR. You're looking at a fairly big range with a huge rounded bottom coming up. So I would definitely see Flare pump into the top of the 800 SMA and or the bull market support band. So I'm actually going to set an alert on Flare right here. Let's go. Go gadget. Go Bitcoin, guys. Let's freaking roll. Let's absolutely roll, fam. We just need to hit that top. We hit that top, I'll be very happy. Honestly, it might even break that top. Remember the other night it broke the top? It might break the top. Because that 4 hour is very, very oversold. So London has been pumping it previously, except for last night. I believe we ranged into London last night. I am going to show you guys the trade I'm in because I like to be very transparent with you guys. All right. So if we go to beastlimitless.com here, make sure you guys are all signed up, guys, for the Saturday session. Okay. Here's the event. Crypto Trading Mastery Learning Session. Go to the events and RSVP. But here is the current trade I'm in. 0.75, a really good entry at that range before it popped off. And we're up 278. I'll be looking taking profit upwards of a grand, and it should make a grand if it hits 68.9 ish area. We actually broke out, guys, so we could even go a lot higher than that. We could go a lot higher. We've been riding this downtrend for quite some time here. And now we finally broke out on a 1 hour time frame. You can see it right here. If you line up your 1 hour right here to right here, broke out, everything broke out. So that does potentially mean that Bitcoin should push up to about 70,000-ish, potentially. We'll see what happens. All right, so we got 10 minutes left on this London session, fam. Is everybody excited for the summertime, guys? I feel like I'm excited for summer. I'm excited to get out. Let's take a look at Solana, see what Solana is doing. See, we broke out on Sol too. Well, in the shorter term. So we have a double top on Sol. We did break out on Sol here. If we look at our Fibonacci retracement tool, We're bouncing off our 382. Okay, so not too bad. Solana is really just playing the range. And you can see Solana's been holding this rounded bottom for a bit here. So now we're looking at a kind of smaller range here. We'll play this 3-point or 2-point resistance right here. I would say we push up to 87 and ultimately break out. Yeah, this is a breakout, and this is probably going to be a pump coming. If we go right here, we take a look at Sol. The market finally broke out. Something is actually going to happen. I don't like how the 1 hour is overbought, but Sol should push up to 90, at least 90. At least this high right here, which is about 90 to 92. I don't think we broke out on the macro though. And that resistance would be about that'd be about 98. So Linda, how you doing? I'm still waiting for Bitcoin to repeat 2022 53% dump to 32K-ish. Yeah, Bitcoin's probably going to do that at some point, but in the shorter term, we are going to range after a bit of a drop. I'm waiting for a 2. Trust me, I am. I'm waiting for a 2. But right now, we did break out. So we'll see if it's a fake out or not into London. Signed up for beastlimitless.com. It is completely free. We're doing a 100% free training. Join it. So Linda, if you're not in the app, beastlimitless.com, join it. Olga, Solana ecosystem was suspicious. Orca, JTO, crazy pump. Yeah, JTO pump too. I think we looked at that in the beginning of the live. JTO will be a very nice short. Once it breaks this resistance right here. So if you can see JTO, breaking this area right here, you're going to have a big drop on JTO. Bearish divergence. You're waiting for the break of trend. Yeah, this is actually looking like a pretty good short if you could break this area right here. If you break the trend on JTO, it should drop. So look at this, guys. Look at this order block right here, or this liquidity gap. Okay. This is a money trade. The reason that this is a money trade is because if it breaks 29 and you start dumping, JTO will drop all the way back down to 27 to 25 or lower. So I would look at taking profit here, but if it breaks here, it is going to come down like bricks. All right, so London is open in a few minutes here on Bitcoin. Let's see what London is going to do in the first 20 minutes. We still got a very good entry. Even if Bitcoin does fake out, I see it doing something like this, coming up and then dropping. But with the breakout on the 1 hour time frame, this is a lot of confirmation for me because we've been dropping since that $70,000 since the weekend. So I would say this is going to be enough confirmation that we are going to pump. Look at the 1 month heat map. The most liquidity is, by the way, 93. Yeah, so if we're looking at that 90K target, the first thing is we got to look at this downtrend, right? Are we bullish enough to break a downtrend? Personally, for me, I don't think so. So if we pump, we probably go up to 78. If we break, or 76, if we break this, we are going bull. Okay, we are full bull and we are running back up. That will be a huge pump in the market. For Bitcoin to break this area right here, about 76, 78K, we are bullish. The whole market is bullish, bull market back on. If we reject right here, then we continue down. We go to that 50K region and lower. So if we go up to 90K, we're bullish. There is no scenario where we are bearish. Unless you actually go over this trend right here, which I didn't do. So that is the smaller term trend. It would be 88. Yeah, if we break 90K, we're bullish. We are very, very bullish. All right, guys. So let's basically look at this right here. See if the 1 hour is looking good on the London close. I mean on the London Open. So the London Open is moving up on your 1 hour stochastic RSI, pushing right up, right up. The 1 hour is about to break your zero line, which is bullish. The 15 minute is moving right up, and the 4 hour is pushing right up with your MACD curving your K and D. So this is showing me we're about to have a pump. Let's go to the 2 hour time frame. 2 hour time frame is looking kosher, waiting for that 4 hour. And essentially that 15 minute, yeah, we're going to pump for sure. So that is, well, I'm not going to say for sure, but we should pump to around that 6893 region. Okay. And that's really all I got for you guys tonight. Everything is looking good into London. If you guys are in a long, because we do know markets fake out, set your stop loss below below 67,200. That is where I'd be setting my stop loss and looking at it before the New York session. And then once the New York session happens, you will have much more information. Okay, I hope everyone has a great night, guys. Hit that like button. We will see you guys on the New York Live tomorrow morning. And not too much happening, but there's not any bearish signs right now. Everything is pointing bullish in the shorter term, which is kind of funny because we're going into a Wednesday into New York. So I am a bit cautious, but I'll take what I can get. And right now we definitely 1,000, 5,000, 2,000 million% broke out. Okay. So hope you guys have a really good night. Thank you guys all for coming on the live. And JTO is the short of the day if JTO could break this area, but it has to break. It can't be a fake out. And then we'll dump all the way back down to these lows around 27. Pirate, nice seeing you. CJ, DV, thank you. Olga, everybody else, Celinda, White. I can't go through comment list. Tim, all you guys, thank you for being on the London session live. We will see you in New York tomorrow. APG. Set your stop loss that's in profit, fam.